Your Friday, January 23rd, 2026. Start your day with this powerful morning prayer of thanksgiving. Don't scroll, listen to this. Because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, even if you don't fully understand why yet. On this Friday morning, January 23rd, 2026, before the noise of the world reaches you, before the weight of responsibility settles on your chest, heaven is speaking softly but clearly into your life. You didn't wake up today by accident. You survived everything you weren't supposed to survive. You made it through nights that almost broke you, through moments where quitting felt easier than believing, and yet here you are, breathing, watching, listening. That alone is reason to say thank you. God, today we start with gratitude, not performative gratitude, not forced positivity, but deep, trembling, honest thanksgiving. Thank you for waking us up when so many prayers went unanswered for others. Thank you for protecting us in ways we'll never fully know. Thank you for the detours that frustrated us but saved us. Thank you for the closed doors that felt like rejection but were actually redirection. This morning, we choose to thank you not only for what went right, but for what went wrong. Because now we see that nothing was wasted. Every delay was developing us. Every loss was clearing space. Every tear watered the ground for something greater. And if the person listening feels emotional right now, if their chest feels tight, if memories are surfacing without warning, let them know this is not weakness, it's release. Something heavy is leaving your spirit as you listen to this. Something old is finally loosening its grip. You've been carrying burdens that were never meant to follow you into this new season, and today, gratitude is the key that unlocks the weight. Listen closely. Today marks a shift you may not immediately recognize, but you will feel it. The energy around your life is changing. The fog that's been clouding your mind is lifting. Confusion is breaking. Peace is settling in places anxiety once lived. You may have felt stuck lately, unsure if you were moving forward or just surviving, but this Friday is not ordinary. This is a threshold day. You are crossing into a season where clarity replaces chaos and alignment replaces striving. Those signs you've been seeing, the repeating numbers, the unexpected songs, the names that keep showing up, the dreams that feel too real to ignore, they are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The universe has been whispering, and now it's speaking louder because you're finally ready to hear it. Your intuition has been sharpening because your spirit is awakening. You're beginning to trust yourself again, and that is powerful. There are decisions you'll make soon that will feel calm instead of forced, and that's how you'll know you're aligned. God, we thank you in advance for the breakthroughs we can't see yet but can already feel forming. We thank you for the favor that's being arranged behind closed doors. We thank you for the conversations that are about to change everything. And now, for the heart that has been quietly praying about love, about connection, about their soulmate, listen carefully, because this part is for you. The loneliness you felt was not punishment, it was preparation. The separation was not abandonment, it was alignment. Someone connected to your destiny is being shaped, healed, and positioned right now, just as you are. Whether this is a reunion or a divine introduction, this love will not feel chaotic. It will not trigger your wounds. It will feel safe, familiar, and peaceful, like coming home. The universe did not forget your prayers. Timing was protecting the promise. And when this connection enters your life, it will arrive with clarity, not confusion, with consistency, not mixed signals, with peace, not anxiety. God, thank you for teaching us to love ourselves before asking someone else to. Thank you for restoring our worth when rejection tried to redefine us. Thank you for reminding us that we are chosen, even when we felt overlooked. Today, we declare divine protection over every listener, over their mind, their heart, their home, and their future. No weapon formed against them will prosper. No negative words spoken over their life will take root. What tried to harm them will now serve them. What tried to stop them will now push them forward. Favor is locating them without effort. Opportunities are aligning without force. Peace is becoming their default state. And as this prayer comes to a close, let the listener feel this truth settle deeply. Something is unfolding faster than they realize. By the end of today, there will be a sign. By the end of this season, there will be clarity. And by the end of this year, there will be gratitude for everything that once didn't make sense. So take a breath. Place your hand on your heart. Whisper thank you, not just for what has happened, but for what is coming. Stay aligned. Stay grateful. Stay open. Because your next chapter has already begun, and this prayer was the confirmation you were waiting for. Don't scroll, listen to this carefully, because what you're feeling right now is not imagination and it's not coincidence, it's recognition. Something inside you already knows this message is personal, and that's because the moment you chose to stay and listen, alignment began. The universe responds to attention, and right now your spirit is awake. You may have felt a sudden calm, or a wave of emotion, or even a strange sense of anticipation, like something important is about to happen but you can't explain what it is yet. That's because this prayer didn't just comfort you, it activated something. God is not only restoring what was lost, He's recalibrating your future. Today is not about catching up, it's about realignment. The delays that frustrated you were divine protection in disguise. You weren't late, you were being prepared. And now, the pressure you felt, the inner tension, the restlessness that kept you up at night, is shifting into clarity. Listen. There are answers coming to questions you stopped asking out loud. There are confirmations arriving in subtle ways, a message at the right time, a memory that suddenly makes sense, an unexpected opportunity that feels too aligned to ignore. These are signs, and your job is not to force them but to notice them. You're stepping into a season where discernment matters more than effort. Not everything that looks good is meant for you, but what is meant for you will bring peace, not confusion. God, we thank you for sharpening our intuition, for teaching us to pause before reacting, for helping us choose alignment over attachment. The person listening has outgrown versions of themselves they no longer recognize, and that's okay. Growth feels lonely before it feels powerful. You may feel misunderstood right now, like people from your past can't access the new version of you, and that's not arrogance, that's evolution. You're no longer meant to explain yourself to those who only knew your survival mode. You're being introduced to a life that matches your healing, not your trauma. And now, for the heart that still feels tender, especially around love, listen slowly. The universe did not separate you from certain people to punish you. It separated you to protect you. Some connections were lessons, not lifetimes. They taught you boundaries, self-worth, and emotional intelligence. And because you learned, you leveled up. That's why the next love will feel different. It won't require you to shrink, chase, or prove your value. It will meet you where you are. If you've been seeing repeating numbers lately, 111, 222, 444, understand this. Alignment, partnership, and protection are converging. You are not walking alone anymore, even if it feels quiet right now. Spiritually, you are surrounded. There is guidance on your path that you can't see but can feel. God, thank you for placing guardians around this listener, protecting their sleep, their thoughts, their decisions. Thank you for blocking what they prayed for before it reached them. Thank you for unanswered prayers that would have cost them peace. Today, we release the need to control outcomes. Control was never your strength, faith is. And faith doesn't mean certainty. It means trust without evidence. The listener may still have questions about their finances, their career, their purpose, and their timing, but hear this clearly: provision is already in motion. You will not miss what is meant for you. You will not be overlooked. You will not be forgotten. What's yours is finding you, even now. And as this day continues, there will be moments where you feel an unexplainable calm. That's alignment settling in. There will be moments where you feel inspired to take a small step. That's guidance. Follow it. Don't overthink it. Your obedience in small moments is unlocking big outcomes. And before this message ends, let this truth anchor deeply in your spirit. This is not the season where you beg, chase, or settle. This is the season where you receive, recognize, and rise. Something is closing quietly, and something greater is opening smoothly. Stay grateful. Stay grounded. Stay open. Because the next sign will come when you least expect it, and when it does, you'll realize this prayer wasn't just encouragement, it was confirmation. Don't scroll, listen to this slowly, because what's happening right now isn't loud, it's sacred, and sacred shifts rarely announce themselves with noise. If you're still here, it's because your spirit recognized something before your mind could explain it. There is a calm forming beneath the chaos of your life, and that calm is not emptiness, it's alignment. You've been asking for clarity, but what you really needed was peace first, because clarity only comes when the heart is no longer panicking. Today, something ancient and intentional is settling into place. The pressure you felt to rush, to prove, to force outcomes is dissolving, and in its place is a quiet confidence you didn't even realize you were ready for. God, today we thank you for stillness, because stillness is where truth finally speaks. Thank you for slowing us down when we were about to choose from fear instead of faith. Thank you for the unanswered messages, the delayed responses, the silence that felt confusing but was actually protective. The listener has been standing at the edge of a breakthrough without realizing it, mistaking the pause for rejection, when in reality it was positioning. Listen carefully. What didn't respond to you was not aligned with the future you're stepping into. What walked away made room. What disappointed you redirected you. Nothing was taken from you. It was released. And right now, there is a gentle unraveling happening inside you. Old beliefs are loosening. Old emotional contracts are expiring. You're no longer required to carry guilt for outgrowing places that once felt like home. Growth does not ask permission. If you've felt distant from certain people lately, it's not because you're cold. It's because your frequency has shifted. You're learning the difference between attachment and connection, between familiarity and destiny. God, we thank you for teaching us discernment, because discernment is the language of maturity. The listener is beginning to notice patterns they once ignored, red flags they once excused, and peace they once underestimated. And now, let's talk about the signs, because they've been persistent for a reason. The repeating numbers, the sudden memories, the dreams that feel like messages instead of imagination, they are signals that timelines are converging. You are closer than you think. What you've been manifesting is no longer in the distance. It's approaching quietly, aligning details behind the scenes. The universe does its deepest work in silence. If you've been feeling unusually tired, unusually reflective, unusually emotional, it's because something old is finishing. Endings don't always feel dramatic. Sometimes they feel like relief. You are not losing momentum, you are shedding weight. And now, for the heart that still wonders about love, about timing, about whether connection is truly possible without pain, listen gently. Love is not meant to be a battlefield. The next chapter of your love story will not require you to abandon yourself. You will not have to decode mixed signals or shrink your needs to be chosen. This connection will recognize you immediately, not because it's rushed, but because it's familiar at a soul level. If this is a reunion, understand this: separation changed both of you. What returns will not be the same dynamic. It will be healthier, slower, clearer. And if this is someone new, they will arrive when you are no longer searching from lack but standing in wholeness. God, thank you for rewriting our understanding of love. Thank you for healing our attachment wounds. Thank you for teaching us that peace is the green flag. The listener is stepping into a season where their nervous system no longer confuses anxiety with passion. Calm will feel attractive now. Consistency will feel romantic. Safety will feel magnetic. And as this unfolds, protection is wrapping around every area of their life. What once drained them will no longer have access. What once distracted them will lose its appeal. Doors that are not aligned will close without struggle. Opportunities meant for them will open without force. You don't have to fight for what is divinely assigned. Favor moves quietly but effectively. Today, we release comparison. The listener's timeline is not behind, it's precise. What looks late to others is perfectly timed in heaven. You are not meant to live a copy of someone else's life. Your path requires experiences that only you could survive, only you could interpret, only you could transform into wisdom. And that wisdom is about to be useful. Someone will need your story. Someone will need your voice. Someone will need the version of you that didn't give up. This is not the season where you hide. This is the season where you integrate. Where your past stops haunting you and starts serving you. As this prayer continues, let the listener feel the truth anchoring inside them. You are safe to trust again. You are allowed to hope again. You are permitted to expect good things without waiting for disappointment to follow. The universe is not testing you anymore. It's responding to you. And here is the final truth you need to carry into the rest of this day. What is coming will not overwhelm you. It will meet you at your level of healing. It will feel right. It will feel steady. It will feel earned. Stay present today. Stay grateful in small moments. Stay open without forcing outcomes. Because the next confirmation will arrive subtly, and when it does, you'll realize this was the moment everything quietly changed. Don't scroll, stay right here, because this part only reaches the people who are truly ready. And the fact that you're still listening means something inside you already knows it's time. There is a noticeable stillness surrounding your life right now, and at first it may have felt uncomfortable, almost suspicious, like the calm before something goes wrong. But listen closely. This calm is not warning, it's confirmation. You are no longer in survival mode. You are no longer being tested the way you once were. The universe doesn't test what it trusts, and today, trust is being established. God, we thank you for this phase, because it doesn't come from striving, it comes from endurance. The listener didn't skip steps to get here. They paid for this peace with patience, with tears, with restraint, with walking away from things that felt good but weren't good for them. And now, something profound is happening internally. The need to prove yourself is dissolving. You don't feel the same urgency to explain your choices, to convince others of your worth, to rush milestones just to feel validated. That's not laziness, that's alignment. When you are in alignment, you stop performing for approval and start moving with purpose. There is a quiet authority forming in the listener's spirit, and that authority will soon be recognized by others. Even if they can't explain why they suddenly respect you more, listen to you differently, or feel drawn to your presence. This is the season where your energy speaks before your words do. God, thank you for maturity, because maturity protects blessings. If things have felt slower recently, understand this: speed is dangerous when something valuable is being built. The universe is layering your life carefully now, reinforcing foundations so what comes next doesn't collapse under pressure. And yes, something significant is coming, something that requires stability, emotional regulation, and discernment. That's why distractions are losing their grip. That's why chaos feels exhausting instead of exciting. That's why you no longer feel tempted by situations that once pulled you in. You've changed, and the change is permanent. Listen. There are certain cycles you will never repeat again, not because you're afraid, but because you've outgrown them. And now, let's talk about love again, but from a grounded place, not longing. Love is approaching you differently now. It's not chasing you, and you're not chasing it. It's aligning. If this is about a soulmate, understand this truth. Soulmates meet at points of readiness, not desperation. That's why timing mattered so much. That's why things couldn't happen sooner. You weren't meant to bond through wounds. You were meant to connect through wholeness. If there was a separation, it matured both hearts. If there was loneliness, it strengthened your self-relationship. And when this connection fully manifests, it will not disrupt your peace, it will add to it. You will still recognize yourself inside love. You will not disappear to keep it. God, thank you for redefining romance for this listener. Thank you for teaching them that consistency is more attractive than intensity, that safety is more seductive than unpredictability, that mutual effort is the real spark. And beyond love, purpose is sharpening. The listener may not have the full picture yet, but clarity is assembling in pieces. Ideas that once felt scattered are beginning to organize themselves. The pull towards certain paths is getting stronger, not louder, and that's important. True purpose doesn't shout, it resonates. You don't need to announce what you're building. Protection increases when you move quietly. The universe is placing the right people at the right distance now, some closer, some further away, all intentionally. If certain relationships are fading without conflict, let them go with gratitude. Not. Everything ends in drama. Some things end because their assignment is complete. And here's something you need to hear clearly. You are no longer meant to rush manifestations. What's coming is responding to your consistency, not your urgency. Every day you choose peace over panic, integrity over impulse, patience over pressure, you are signaling readiness. God, thank you for honoring quiet obedience. Thank you for the unseen choices that are now producing visible outcomes. The listener is entering a phase where blessings arrive subtly at first, a conversation that opens a door, an idea that gains traction, an opportunity that feels strangely effortless. Don't underestimate small beginnings. What starts calmly will grow steadily. And before this message closes, let this truth land deeply. You are not behind, you are not missing out, and you are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to receive what you once prayed for without losing yourself in the process. The universe isn't rushing you because it trusts your timing now. Stay present today. Stay grounded. Stay thankful for the quiet. Because the next phase won't require you to fight, it will require you to receive. And when it arrives, you'll know without question, this piece was the proof that destiny finally locked in. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this is the part where things stop being theory and start becoming experience. And if you're still listening, it's because something inside you already feels the shift. There's a quiet responsiveness in the air around you now, like life itself is leaning closer, paying attention, adjusting its rhythm to match yours. What you've been praying for hasn't been ignored, it's been incubating. Manifestation doesn't arrive loudly, it arrives accurately. And right now, accuracy matters more than speed. God, we thank you for this stage, because this is where faith matures into trust. The listener has crossed an invisible line where desperation no longer fuels their prayers, gratitude does. You're no longer asking from lack, you're aligning from belief. And that subtle change has unlocked momentum. Things may not have exploded yet, but they are responding. People are responding. Opportunities are responding. Even your own energy is responding differently. You're noticing that what once triggered you no longer has the same power. You pause before reacting. You choose calm over chaos. You listen to your intuition instead of overriding it. That's not accidental. That's integration. This is what it looks like when healing sticks. And now, understand this. Manifestation accelerates when resistance dissolves. The listener has stopped trying to control every outcome, and in that surrender, space has opened. Space for clarity. Space for connection. Space for blessings that require room to land. If certain things haven't arrived yet, it's not because they're delayed, it's because they're arriving complete. God is not sending fragments into your life anymore. What's coming is whole. And yes, this includes love. Especially love. If you've felt your heart opening again after a long period of guardedness, that's not foolish, that's readiness. You didn't heal to stay closed. You healed to love better. The next connection that enters your life will not need to break you open. You're already open. It will meet you where you are, not where you were. If this is about a soulmate, hear this clearly. The universe does not tease soul connections. When alignment is reached, movement follows. Conversations begin. Paths cross. Energy synchronizes. You may already feel someone thinking about you, sensing you, being drawn toward you without knowing why. That's not fantasy, that's resonance. Soul connections respond to readiness, not chasing. And if this is a reunion, understand this. What returns now comes with accountability, clarity, and mutual effort. The cycle of confusion has ended. You are no longer available for half-love, half-truths, or emotional inconsistency. God, thank you for strengthening boundaries, because boundaries protect destiny. And beyond love, abundance is recalibrating. The listener may have worried about finances, stability, or long-term security, but provision doesn't always arrive as money first. It arrives as ideas, access, and timing. Something you've been thinking about casually will soon present itself as an opportunity. Pay attention to what feels natural, not forced. Pay attention to what energizes you instead of draining you. The universe communicates through resonance. And right now, your resonance is clearer than it's ever been. You're not meant to hustle from exhaustion anymore. You're meant to move from alignment. God, thank you for removing the pressure to struggle just to feel worthy. Thank you for teaching us that ease does not mean laziness. It means cooperation with divine flow. The listener is learning to trust ease again, and that trust is magnetic. People will be drawn to your calm. They will feel safe in your presence. They will sense your authenticity. This is influence without effort. And as this part of the journey unfolds, let this truth settle in. You are no longer waiting for permission to receive good things. You don't need to justify your joy or explain your blessings. You paid the price in patience. You endured the silence. You stayed when leaving would have been easier. And now, life is responding in kind. If today feels lighter than yesterday, that's confirmation. If your thoughts feel clearer, that's alignment. If you feel hopeful without forcing optimism, that's manifestation activating. God, we thank you for this responsiveness, because it reassures the heart that trust was not misplaced. And before this message ends, hear this final anchor. What is unfolding now will not overwhelm you, surprise you with chaos, or pull you back into old patterns. It will meet you at your level of healing. It will feel earned, stable, and real. Stay attentive today. Stay grateful for subtle shifts. Stay open without rushing outcomes. Because what you prayed for is no longer deciding whether to come, it's deciding how to arrive in a way that honors who you've become. Don't scroll, stay present. Because this is the moment where everything you've felt but couldn't explain finally finds language, and if you're still listening, it's because your spirit already knows this is the closing seal. There is a deep sense of arrival happening now, not arrival at a destination, but arrival within yourself. You are no longer searching for signs with desperation. Signs are finding you naturally. The questions that once haunted your quiet moments have softened, not because you have all the answers, but because you finally trust the process that's unfolding. God, today we don't ask, we acknowledge. We acknowledge how far the listener has come. We acknowledge the resilience that carried them when motivation disappeared. We acknowledge the faith it took to keep going when progress felt invisible. This prayer is not opening a door, it's confirming you already walked through one. You are not standing at the beginning anymore, you are standing in alignment. And alignment feels different than excitement. It feels calm. It feels grounded. It feels like you don't need to convince yourself anymore. The chaos that once followed you has lost its grip. The emotional noise that clouded your decisions has quieted. You're no longer reacting from wounds, you're responding from wisdom. That is growth that cannot be taken from you. And now listen carefully, because this part matters. What's coming next will require presence, not preparation. You've prepared enough. You've healed enough. You've learned enough. Now it's about receiving without suspicion. The listener may notice that blessings arrive in ordinary packaging, simple conversations, gentle opportunities, quiet moments of clarity. But don't mistake subtle for small. Destiny rarely announces itself dramatically. It reveals itself steadily. God, thank you for teaching us to recognize divine movement without needing chaos as proof. And for the heart that still wonders, is this really my time? Hear this without fear. Yes, but not in the way you imagined when you were hurting. It's better. It's healthier. It's sustainable. You're not stepping into a season that burns you out. You're stepping into one that builds you up. Love will not consume you. It will complement you. Purpose will not pressure you. It will guide you. Abundance will not overwhelm you. It will support you. This is divine balance. If you've been seeing signs lately, angel numbers, repeated themes, familiar feelings resurfacing, this is the explanation. Timelines have aligned. What was once fragmented is now synchronized. The universe doesn't rush alignment. It waits until all pieces are ready. And now they are. That's why things feel inevitable instead of uncertain. You may feel an inner knowing you didn't have before, a quiet certainty that doesn't need reassurance. That certainty is your spirit recognizing truth. God, we thank you for replacing anxiety with assurance. Thank you for removing the need to look back for validation. The listener no longer needs closure from people who couldn't meet them at their level of growth. Closure came through clarity. Closure came through peace. And now there is space, real space. For joy that doesn't feel borrowed, for happiness that doesn't feel temporary, for love that doesn't feel like work. If this journey involved a soulmate, understand this: soul connections don't always arrive when we're lonely. They arrive when we're ready to share wholeness. Whether this love is already present, returning, or on its way, it will recognize you instantly, not because of attraction alone, but because of familiarity at the soul level. You won't have to convince it to choose you. Choice will be mutual, effortless, clear. And beyond relationships, your life path is settling into its own rhythm. You're no longer chasing purpose, you're embodying it. The listener's presence itself will inspire others. Their calm will speak louder than their words. Their story will matter too. people they haven't even met yet. This is influence born from authenticity. God, thank you for turning pain into wisdom and survival into testimony. And now, as this final part closes, let this truth anchor deep inside you. You are safe to trust what's unfolding. You are safe to let good things happen without waiting for loss to follow. You are safe to believe that this chapter is not a setup, it's a reward. Take this feeling with you today. Move slowly. Notice the small confirmations. Honor your peace. And if this message resonated, if your heart feels seen, if your spirit feels steady, don't ignore that. This wasn't just a prayer, it was alignment. And alignment always responds. Stay here. Stay open. Stay grateful. Because this is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of the life it confirmed.